Why is it that kids always got to do something at bedtime? If you tell them 30 minutes, an hour advance, hey, go get something to eat, go use the bathroom, whatever it is, it's still without fail in the middle of the routine. You're saying you're singing the songs, the nightly songs. You're talking to them, you're praying, whatever your nightly routine looks like, and then a small voice comes up and says, "Daddy, I need to poop." That didn't happen. That did not have to happen an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, without fail, if anybody could let me know why it is I need a drink, I'm hungry, I need to poop, I forgot something, I need to read a book, I need to solve the world's problems, whatever it is that you come up with, let me know, because I've heard it all. I need to lay out my clothes for school. It's Friday night. I need to get my school clothes ready for tomorrow, or my church clothes ready for tomorrow. We don't have church tomorrow. And then it's like, when you do have school, they don't lay their clothes out. Like, why is it such an urgency Friday night at bedtime to lay out clothes for school that you do not have, but Sunday night, bloop, slips their mind? Anyway, I digress. That is not why I am getting involved in this late night Friday stream, but it is part of it. So the reflection on the week is I had a lot going on, and it just doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. And I know a lot of y'all can relate to that. We're all busy, or we're in the mindset of busy. So without further delay, let's dig into it. I earlier in the week on one of my social media accounts posted something that was a reaction to something that had happened with my middle daughter. So as you know, I have three girls, 3, 6, and 10, and they are amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, we had to do a transition with Girl Dads, and so we were going from Girl Dad Chronicles over to Girl Dad Media. Too much traffic for Girl Dad Chronicles. There were other people that were using the name for podcast and other social media platforms, so we had to go out and find a name, agree upon a name, and then move forward with it. But there was something that took place, and Kendra decided that she wasn't going to say anything. I don't know if she was pouting or what. And so it led me to think that I needed to explain, not explain, explain is a terrible word. I needed to encourage, I needed to encourage her to use her words. And so what I got was, let me pull it up, just a couple of scripture that I want to refer to. It's really good. And so having a reference point that it's not just because Daddy says so, but here is some guidelines, here's an outline, here is a plan that Daddy and Mommy both follow. I feel gets better results in the long run than when you just say, because I said so. Now, there is a time and a place for I said so. Whether it's in a parking lot when they're trying to run away from you, or they're going to drink something they shouldn't, they don't need an explanation. They just need to know, because I said so. But I'm not using that all the time. In this moment, it was more of a teaching, learning moment. And I think I probably learned more than they did. But the intent was to share with my daughter. And so I had my older ones sit in on it as well, because, she could hear it. But my examples were as such. Moses and the Exodus from Egypt. And so it was Moses finding the courage to confront Pharaoh, demand the release of the enslaved Israelites, and then most of us know the rest of the story, their exodus out of Egypt. But he was reluctant, right? He didn't want to say nothing. But he ended up using his voice to advocate for justice, to lead his people to freedom. I mean, ooh, that is powerful stuff right there. And so that is where I started. And so the power of speaking up against oppression and using your words to advocate for change. Now, that's pretty strong for a 6-year-old, because I know a lot of adults that wouldn't be able to receive that. But it's all about presentation. All right. I'll give an example of my dog. I have a golden doodle. It's the best dog for my family. But the crazy thing is, you all hearing me okay? Let me see. The crazy thing is, I'll pull this over here a little bit. The crazy thing is, if you say "I love you" to that dog, but your tone is off, he don't understand that you're saying "I love you." Like if I get a scowl and I snap my finger and I say "I love you," he's gonna tuck tail, go over to his bed, curl up, and lay down. He's not going to come over, wag his tail, and let me pet him. But in the same sense, I can say, "You're so dumb. Come here, boy. You're so dumb." And that thing will come over and almost knock me over trying to get some love because I'm calling him dumb. But back to my original point, it's all about presentation, right? So, yeah, it's a little strong, but what I was trying to get across to her was use your words. Don't sit there and let someone walk over you. If you have a suggestion, if you have an opinion, articulate it, think about it in your head, and then express it. There's no point. Yes, I know some people are thinking, kids need to be quiet. Well, there's a time and a place that they need to be quiet, but there's also a time and a place they need to speak up. Moving on. This is fun. I hope everybody's having fun. I'm having fun. This is great fun for me on a Friday night. Was supposed to went to a softball game, but it got started raining, and so I stayed home with the girls, and wifey went on to play her softball game. You'll see a live video we did a couple Friday nights ago. Very fun stuff when she doesn't get hurt. So moving on. My second example of words was John 1:1-5, where it explains about it opens with one of the most famous verses, that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was the Word in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I'll get it out. About how it signifies the immense power of the Word associated with God's creative ability. It emphasizes the importance of using words thoughtfully and purposefully, acknowledging their potential to build, inspire, and create. Now, I think that is powerful in and of itself. But then someone responded and reminded me, not that I had forgotten, but they wanted to share. And Christy, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That in the beginning was the Word, and it's capitalized in the Bible, insinuating, meaning, translating into Jesus. That the Word was, so if you read it like that, in the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with God, and Jesus was God. So it kind of reminds me of that song. I don't know who it is, but it says, "I speak Jesus." Well, that's all there is to it. But my second example was to get her to think and know that she needs to be purpose driven with her words, but they need to have thought behind them. And that was more of a word for my 10-year-old who often speaks off the cuff without thought and then has to backtrack. It often reminds me of myself. Although I think that I'm doing better nowadays, I still have those moments where I word vomit and then try to reel it back in. Like, ooh, dang, I should have thought about that. So, got to improve myself. But my third example was of the prodigal son. So, if you're not familiar, the son goes to his father, says, "Give me my inheritance now." Basically, goes off and blows it about as quick as possible. He finds himself eating slop with the pigs. Realizes that even his father's servants have it better than he does now. So he returns home, but his transformation begins with the act of confession. And anybody that knows any amount of scripture knows that it confess with your mouth. So by acknowledging his wrongdoing and expressing his desire to change, he sets in motion a process of reconciliation and personal growth. It highlights the importance of using words for self reflection, admitting mistakes, and seeking forgiveness. Now, it is not limited to those three things, but for my example to my daughter, that's what I used. So I shared that, like I said, on social media. I got feedback about that, but then I also got feedback from a good friend, Shauna, who mentioned the book of Esther. Don't forget Esther. And I said, "Oh, that's perfect." Well, that causes me to dig in. So I do a little research. And those of you that know me and those that are getting to know me, I like my research. I like to have facts and truth back up the things that I'm looking into. That way, if someone else says something that I know is not truth, I'm not fazed by it. Hello. Okay. So, in with Esther, I'll get it right eventually. It emphasizes the importance of using your voice and words. So, overcoming silence. That is the bullet point. In let's see, Esther remains silent about the impending threat, hesitant to approach the king without being summoned. However, her wise cousin Mordecai urges her to use her position and influence to intervene, saying, "Do not think to escape to the house of the king alone, beyond all the other Jews, for you have not attained royalty for this time without reason." Ho, 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 ho. It highlights the responsibility that comes with having a voice and the potential consequences of staying silent. I don't know. There's nothing else that I need to say about that. I can't wait to share that with my girls. So thank you, Shauna, for bringing that to the light and letting me see that. I appreciate it so much. Um, but there's just so much more in that. The power of persuasion. When she does finally speak up, she employs her words strategically. You got to be strategic when you're talking. She throws a lavish banquet for the king, gradually gaining his favor and creating an opportunity to plead her case. We all know that if you're going to the boss with an ask, if you're going to the head honcho, whoever it is, with an ask, your affairs better be in order. And what I mean by that is you better not have tardies, no shows. You better have been doing your work and is above and beyond your work. Because if you're going for an ask, like you want more PTO or you want more money, you better have your ducks in a row. Because that guarantee he's going to take a look and be like, "Well, according to this, Kevin, it says you ain't been doing much, but you expecting much." So anyway, back on track. The third bullet point for Esther is breaking the societal norms. In the Persian Empire, it was considered inappropriate for women to approach the king without permission. By speaking out, Esther broke the norm of society and risked her own life. The act of defiance underscores the courage and conviction required to use your voice when it goes against established norms. I know that in nowadays we are in a rough time when it is easier to go with the flow than it is to speak out. But in this case, with my daughter, I was really wanting to inspire, encourage her, empower her to use her voice because she is so smart. She has so much insight. People refer to her as the old soul because of how she speaks when she speaks. And the problem is that when she feels a little bit of attack, she shuts down. And so trying to break through that and allow her to still um, feel that, but at the same time tap into what she is already great at and respond and use those voices. But I just, it was weighing heavy upon me about after I had posted um, that statement and the feedback I got. Mostly it was all love. Mostly it was positive. But I love that I've got people that will straight up say, "Hey, what about this? Don't forget about this. You should include this." And you know what? It's that community right there that it takes to raise children in general, not just girls. I can speak to being as a girl dad because that is what I am, but it applies to children in general. It takes everybody. But the same. Let's see here. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, offer insights into the power of using your voice. This is only set up to be offering valuable insights into the power of using your voice and words responsibly and intentionally. I can't say that enough. And so let me just dig in a little bit with that one, and then I will have my thoughts said, and I can go about the rest of my night. So let's start with responsibly, in a sensible and trustworthy manner. So if you're going to speak responsibly. So speak in a reasonable and trustworthy manner, in a way that relates to duty or responsibility. So that's just a quick, what is it, Oxford, from dictionary.com. Yeah. And so intentionality, intentionally, deliberately, and on purpose, purposeful or by design, knowingly, premeditated. Oh, so you thought about it before you said it. Uh, Willfully, so wittingly. There's all kinds of examples to go through that, but it's amazing the power of words and how in that moment that is what popped up in my head was to let's have a quick study. Let's have a quick lesson on the power of your voice and using it. Um, I hope you all gain something from it. Leave a comment down below, letting me know if you find value in it, or something I may have forgot, or something you want to add. Because again, I'm always looking for other people's perspectives and ideas. I don't have it all together. I'm making an effort. So on that, I'm gone. I hope you have a great Friday night. This is not my typical, but maybe it will start being my typical. So to all the girl dads out there, don't quit and keep trying. All right, until next time.